Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Abby Fry, Head of Marketing and Communications at Moodle, and today I have with me Martin Dougiamas, who is of course our Moodle CEO and founder, and we're going to be talking about MoodleMoot Global. Hi Martin.
Hey Abby, g'day.
Martin, it's August, which means that MoodleMoot Global is actually next month. It's come upon us very quickly, I think. Do you agree?
Yeah, it seems like not very long ago we were there in September last year with 840 people or so. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? And just as a recap for people who may be listening who don't know, the event's in Barcelona again, as it was last year, beautiful Barcelona, at the Hotel Barceló Sands. And it's from the 19th to the 21st of September, which is 3 days. In fact, it's kind of 4 days really, because we are providing all the participants the opportunity to go to our jams on the Monday. And this year we've got 3 jams going. We've got our Developers Dev Jam, our Learning Design Jam, and our UX Jam, which is really exciting. So lots there for educators or trainers, many learning opportunities. And I think we've already got about 500 people going. So it looks like it's going to be a really busy and packed event, which is exciting. And I know you love it, Martin. Why do you enjoy it so much?
Well, it's the community is people with like-minded thinking and friends, really. Some of these folks, we've all known each other for years, on and off, decades in some cases. And we have the same approach to education technology, which is this open way of doing it and working together on it and striving to make something that is really good for the world together. So, you know, we've got that as a foundation, and then it's just so interesting having all the different cultures from around the world meeting and sharing, and they're just always good people. So I always get really fully energized, and I think everyone says that. You come back just feeling totally energized that you're not alone in your institution or wherever you're working. You've got all these other people around the world who are busy on the same sorts of things, and yeah, it's a lot to share.
And this year's theme is lifelong learning, which is really lovely because it acknowledges that we learn throughout our lives, not just in formal education institutions, of course, like schools or training providers or colleges, universities, but also through our work life. And your keynote is closely connected to that. The topic is lifelong intelligence. Can you give us some clues as to what you'll be talking about?
Well, you know, probably the most that you hear the word intelligence these days is talking about artificial intelligence. And certainly I will be talking a bit about that and how that integrates. But it's just because we have the ability for computers to write texts for us or make our images or make our videos, it doesn't mean we shouldn't be optimizing this intelligence. And it's all about that lifelong view of how do we bring everybody up and what can we do from both a technical perspective with the technology and from like an institutional perspective or an individual perspective, like what we can all be doing to, I guess, open up education opportunities to more people.
Yeah, great. Of course, technology is crucial to learning and education. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. You're really utilizing technology to improve the way we relate and take the world forward in many ways. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, technology is the affordance. It's what lets us do things easily or not easily. So that's really important that we get the technology right, and it's the one thing that we can change most easily and help spread that around.
And will you be giving? Absolutely. Well, will you be giving us some clues as to what's happening with artificial intelligence and Moodle moving forward?
Yeah, so last year I was talking, my keynote was a lot about AI, and I was demonstrating the state of the art at the time in image generation and text generation. And you may remember, those of you who came last year, that the official T-shirt was an AI generated image last year. This year, things have moved on quite a lot. ChatGPT was released in December, and so a lot of people had more access to that stuff. And I think we're all wrestling with how it fits into our lives and how it fits into our work and education processes. So I have some thinking on that I'll share, that I've been putting together, that I think will be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure any use of technology is to improve learner outcomes, and the same is true of AI. In the same way that we might utilize AI tools in our work, we should utilize AI tools to improve our efficiency as educators or trainers and improve the outcomes for learners. So it will be really interesting to hear you talk about that. And equally as important, I know you like a party, and there's some great social events at MoodleMoot Global this year. Can you give us a bit of a taster of what's coming?
So we have a big party in the middle day, I think it is, and there's a new venue. Last year, if you came, we had a tremendous old dance hall that had been refurbished. It was over 100 years old, and a great location for that party. And I think everyone had an absolute banger of a time. This year we have another very cool venue that's, I don't want to give away too much, but it's on 3 levels. I'll say that much. And our organizing committee decided on an 80s theme. So that's your 80s theme. That's your prompt to go and start preparing something. It can be pretty open, and it doesn't have to just be particular 80s singers or something. Think broader. Think everything from the 80s. I would say, to make it interesting. We also have, on the night before that, something that's new to this Global Moot, which is it's another jam, but it's a music jam, and we've hired a whole nightclub for the evening with a stage, and there'll be musical instruments there, and we, the Moodlers, will be providing the entertainment. So if you can play an instrument, make sure you sign up for that. It is free, but it is limited. We can only fit so many people in that room. So I'm really looking forward to hearing everybody collaborate in the spirit of Moodle and provide some musical entertainment for ourselves all together, and have a good jam. And we'll just see how all those musical cultures come together. I think it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, that will be great. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm always just so impressed by how many people in the Moodle community and Moodle also play instruments as well as their day jobs. So it's a really lovely way to get together. Well, thank you, Martin. And we look forward to seeing you in September. I'm sure everyone that's registered is looking forward to that. And if you want to find out more about MoodleMoot Global, the Jam Night, the Dev Jams on the first day, please visit our website, MoodleMoot.org. And of course, you can progress a registration from there. Thanks again, Martin. And thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Abby. See you there.
Bye-bye.